The market has been shaky, tech is selling off, and global sentiment feels fragile. But right here in Singapore, a handful of stocks are doing something completely different. While the STI wobbles, these 5 names have quietly held their ground, stayed firmly in the uptrend, and are still showing bullish signals from my 1GT Pro indicator. These are not hope for rebounds clicks. These are stocks that have already proven their strength through multiple waves of market volatility. And as we head into the final stretch of 2025, some of them look like they could still push even higher and even into 2026 as well. Let me show you exactly which these SPY stocks are and why the charts are telling a very different story. Let's go. The first Singapore stock I share with you will be that of Sheng Siong. The code is OV8. And Sheng Siong is one of Singapore's largest supermarket chain with over 60 stores in Singapore. It's known for its focus on like value, fresh fruit and fresh food, and also essentials as well. And it is benefiting from steady consumer demand, right, despite economic cycles and all that. So this is Sheng Siong right over here, trading about $2.70. You can see that Sheng Siong has been in a really firm uptrend since the beginning of the year 2025. One of the strongest uptrending stocks in the Singapore market that I've been talking about over the past few months, even since the beginning of 2025. Right, very strong uptrend. Look at the longer term trend, the red and the blue line both pointing up, red above the blue. So longer term uptrend intact. In the short term, we did take a little bit of a rest somewhere from July all the way to October, but over the past 2 weeks, it seems like it has woken up, it has broken what we call a very key resistance level at about the $2.20 right over here. So you can see when we broke the 220 pound, there we go, from 220 all the way to $2.70 in about more than a month, right? And there could still be more legs to this rally. Now let's go to turn on the One Good Trend Pro indicator that I've been using, right, to see if there are any bullish or bearish signals, right, to get another opinion, right, if this stock is still good to ride even further. So if you turn it on right over here, you can see that this is the One Good Trend Pro indicator that I can turn it on, on any asset classes, not just Singapore stocks, even US stocks, any asset classes, and get an opinion in seconds, right? So it's on the very first box. There we go, right? So I've turned it on, and you can see that for Sheng Siong, right? Sheng Siong, we have not one, not two, but a couple of 1GT bullish signals coming out since like April, right? Right over here, April, we have 1, 2, 3, 3 more in June, July, and another one just came out in October, to be exact, will be 22 of October. As I mentioned, right, we broke the $2.20 psychological resistance, and there we go, right? So obviously there are no bearish signal right now, a red bearish signal like what we see over here, right? We do see a red bearish signal like what we saw here. That is where we might see a bit of a profit taking and some heavy selling coming back. And that bearish signal coupled with a few other confirmations, well, it might lead us to get out, to take some profit, right? To reduce exposure. But you can see right now, there is no 1GT bearish signal. So I think it still looks pretty good. Maybe what I could do is to draw what we call a horizontal support level. It seems like the highest support has been found somewhere around 260 to maybe even 265. Right? It seems that buyers are starting to come back over the past 1 over week. There's some bargain hunting coming back, quite a bullish candlestick bulk for a long lower shadow coming out as we approach the 265 support. So not too bad, right? I think 265, maybe all the way to 275, that could be a 10 cents range right now. So, it looks pretty solid. I think it still looks good above 265 to 260. If we break the 275 resistance level, I think targets could be revised all the way to $3. All right, so this is Sheng Siong, one of the stocks that I've been covering since beginning of the year. Very short uptrend, not too bad. There could still be more leaks to this rally. You might want to put it in your watch list to potentially, right, even more upside. Second Singapore stock I'll share with you, and that will be SIA Engineering. The code is S59. SIA Engineering provides what we call aircraft maintenance and repair services for airlines all over the world. This is SIA Engineering chart right here at $3.72. So we see that for SIA Engineering, I would say since like May and June, we started to see some signs of the uptrend forming up firmly just by looking at the longer term trend. You see right over here, we saw the 100 days moving average, the red line crossing above the blue line, all right? And that is where we have turned into a very strong longer term uptrend just starting to play out progressively. And that's why it's happened, right? From June all the way to now, we pushed higher from like $2.40 to about $3.72. If you take a look at the short-term trend, why? You want to focus on the green line. You see, right? Somewhere in May, the green line turns up. In July, August, we went sideways. So the short-term trend was a bit sideways from July, August, but somewhere in September, October, well, the green line started to point up, right? Up, flat, and now it is started to point up again. Doesn't make sense. Well, so I would say that right now, not just the longer term trend is up, the short-term trend has also turned from sideways in October to now up over the past 1 to 2 weeks. Now let's go to turn on the 1GT Pro indicator to see if there are any bullish or bearish signals. Let's take a look. So you can see that right over here, well, I'll not go too far, but somewhere in like March, right, well, we got a bearish signal. So when we see a bearish signal, then obviously we don't want to rush to get into buy, because that's where we could see selling. And look at this, right? After the bearish signal, we did sell all the way down, all right? Will be 5-10%. But a new bullish signal, pump, right? And all the way out, a bearish signal, get out, take some profit if you want. That just means some heavy selling coming back. But let's take a look at what happened somewhere in September. To see, right? We got the green 20 days moving average strength pointing up. And not just that, 2 1GT bullish signals got triggered. Another one just came out on the 6th of November, right over here. And you can see that we were actually attempting to break this resistance level. Look at it, the $3.60 was a psychological resistance level that we will consolidate it below, right up here, right? For more than a month, and finally, pump, we broke the 360, a new 1GT bullish signal got triggered. And thankfully, we're still above the $3.60 resistance that would now turn into a new support level. So that means we have to turn this red line to green in color right over here. And you see, like over the past few days, it seems like some bargain hunting is starting to come back right now, just as we near the 360, like 365, 366, 367. I think buyers are starting to come back. And you can see that this also coincides with where the green 20 days moving average line is as well. At that acts like a little bit like a dynamic support level. So I think it looks pretty good. I think the range is like 360 all the way to maybe $3.80. I think that is pretty much the range right now, about 20 cents range. If the 380 were to give way, right, that resistance were to clear out, that is where target could be revised all the way to $4, even to $4.20. So let's see when the 1GT bearish signal actually appears, like what we've seen previously, right? If not, let's continue to ride even further. Let's move on to the third Singapore stock, and that would be Bumitama Agri. The code is P8Z. And this is one of the leading palm oil producer with plantations across Indonesia. Very strong uptrend, I would say, since July, August. You start to see it pushing to a new high very gradually while consolidating as well before it moves even higher. So you can see the price right now is about $1.55. You can see that the long-term trend is up just by looking at the rates and the blue line. And if you look at the short-term trends by looking at the green 20 days moving average line, it was like up, flat, up, and I would say still slightly pointing up right now. All right, let's take a look at what it says on the 1GT Pro indicator as another confirmation to see whether there could still be more upside, or maybe we might see a bearish signal that you might want to be careful, right? So let's find out right over here. Pump and sell on the first box. There we go. Oh, right, good. Like no bearish signal. It still looks pretty good. We can see that we had, in fact, the first 1GT bullish signal popping out right over here, 9th of June, all the way to now. That would be 118. Yeah, 118%. All right, in about 5 months, right? Pretty cool, pretty cool. Could there be more upside? Well, let's find out. As you can see, right? So we got a 1GT bullish signal, pump, right? Another one came up on the 7th of October as we attempted to break the 120 resistance, and we went even higher. So I think not too bad. You see that there's obviously no bearish signal. The long-term trend is up, the short-term trend is up, and if you could turn on what we call the trailing supports right over here, right? And this trailing support is one of the very powerful features of the 1GT Pro indicator that I've been using all along, because it gives the stock, in this case Bumitama Agri, the space to move freely while hopefully pushing higher. So as long as we stay above the trailing support, you see right over here, right? The trailing support follows it as it moves even higher, right? It moves up, it follows it, but it gives it the space to move freely. It accounts for its natural volatility. So as long as you're above it, you're fine, right? So I'll be above it, Yeah, in fact, we're still above it, right? This trailing support is somewhere around the 130, right? So anything above 130 to maybe above 140, well, I think it looks good, right? The uptrend is still intact. There are definitely more confirmations pointing up rather than down. Does it make sense about? All right. Now let's take a look and zoom in a little bit more deeper. I would say that $1.50 would be what we call a psychological resistance level. So over the past 3 weeks to a month, we have been seeing a bit of a selling near the 150. Look at this, right? A bearish candle, long upper shadow. We went down, near it, went down, all right? But today, right over here on the 19th of November, Wednesday, today, right? It seems like we are attempting to break the $1.50 psychological resistance level. Of course, now the market is still open. It's only like about 2:31 p.m. when I'm recording this video. So I'm not too sure whether it will hold above the $1.50, right? But if we can stay above $1.50, it goes at 155, 52, 56, 50 something, right? That could be a sign of strength. That could be another confirmation that we are attempting to break this resistance level, and all these 1GT bullish signals that have been played since June, July could continue to play out. Targets could then be revised. I would say maybe all the way to 170, maybe to even 180 as well. So this is Bumitama Agri, not too bad. One of the stocks that we have shared with our clients in Philips Securities together with like SIA Engineering and Sheng Siong, and you might want to put it in your watch list for even more upside as well. Let's move on to the fourth Singapore stock that I will share with you guys today, and that would be Singtel, Singapore Telecom. The code is Z74, right? And if you want to get, as I say, some of those ideas, top Singapore ideas and market updates daily by WhatsApp, right, for free at no additional cost whatsoever, go to click on the link below the video. Find out, guys, how you can become a client of mine in Philips Securities for free. All right. So essentially, if you are trading, you will need a trading account. So if you are trading and you have a trading account, but you log into a mobile app or some online platform and you don't get any service from your own broker, right? Nobody sending you any ideas or videos or WhatsApp or trading. You have no idea who he or she is. It's like the hotline. Well, find out links right below the video. Click on it. Find out how I can become a client of mine to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp daily, faster than the time I take to do a video like this. And by the time you see it, it might have gone up a little bit. Does it make sense about? All right, so link right below the video, and that's where you can get ideas much faster by WhatsApp. All right, now let's dive into the fourth Singapore stock, and that would be Singtel, right? And Singtel is Singapore's, I would say, one of the largest telecommunication group. It operates not just in Singapore, in Southeast Asia as well, even in Australia, and it has brands like Optus, AIS as well. So let's dive into the charts of Singtel right now to see why is it on my watch list, right, as we add 2025. Right over here, $4.85. So quite clear, you can see that for Singtel, right, not just since this year, but since last year, we have been talking about this stock being in a very firm uptrend, right? Longer term uptrend, forming what we call higher lows. In fact, you could also draw an upward sloping channel support line connecting the low. So every time it comes back down, buyers come back, you push even higher. Go down a little bit, go up even more, right? Higher lows, higher highs. That's what we call a very firm uptrending stock. But if you don't want to look at that, you can take a look at the what we call longer term moving averages, and that will be the rate and the blue line I talked about just now, right? As long as the rate is above the blue, both lines pointing up, pretty great, right? The long-term uptrend is intact, and we definitely want to think about buying stocks and holding on to stocks like this, all right? And this is Singtel. So you see, right? Long-term trend is obviously up right now, rate above the blue. The green line that represents the short-term trend would be the 20 days moving average. You can see, right? It's not always up, something can be flat for like 1-2 months, up and flat and up and then down a little bit, and now starting to turn up. Does it make sense about? So we'll be zooming right now, where I would say that the longer-term trend, red and blue, is up. The short-term trend obviously is up as well, because the green line has started to turn up over the past 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, if you ask me somewhere in October, I would say it's sideways, but right now it is up. Does it make sense about? All right. Now let's go to turn on the 1GT Pro indicator to see if there are any bullish or bearish signals on Singtel. There we go. Wow. I will not go too far, but let's take a look at the guy, right? You can see that somewhere in like June last year, right? Another bullish signal somewhere August last year, all the way out. A bearish signal, well, get out, take some profit, I think maybe 20-30%, right? But you can see another bullish signal came out at the beginning of 2025. That's why we have been covering this stock since like, February, March this year. Look at this, right? A bullish signal, two more bullish signal. That would be how many percent? I would say, until we get a bearish signal, about 37% in about 7 months. Pretty cool, right? 37% in 7 months. Get out, right? Got a bearish signal. But let's zoom into what has happened over the past few weeks. Well, it seems like, not it seems like, it's the fact that we got a new 1GT bullish signal coming out right over here on the 6th of November, all right, about 2 weeks back. We attempted to push to a new high, right, to break this $4.40. Let me just show you right over here. There will be a bit of a resistance. Look at this, right? Resistance, we touch, came down, very signal. So all this while since like August, September, October, we were below $4.40 resistance. That's a very key critical resistance level. But you see right over here, pump. We broke above the 440, all right? A new 1GT bullish signal got triggered, and it's a pretty bullish candlestick on that day as well, right? I mean, that will be another confirmation that we are sitting as well, right? So not too bad. The green lines started to point out. It seems like we have pushed higher, but we have found what we call a higher support coming up over the past 1 to 2 weeks. So right now, so I think 440 would be a very good support together with $4.50, but I'm not too sure whether you might hit back down to that support. It seems like another support has came up. So let me go ahead to draw these higher supports. So I think you're 440, maybe might go to 460, but I think we may have to push it a little bit higher, right? It could be somewhere around like 470 to 480. It seems like there's some bargain hunting coming back already, right? All the way maybe towards the $5 psychological resistance level. So yeah, it could be from 480 to $5. That's what we've seen prices holding above, all right, over the past 4 or 5 days. So I think if it stays above 480, well, that could firm up as a pretty good, decent support level. If $5, so to give away roughly targets could be revised even higher. This 1GT bullish signal could continue to play out till we end 2025 and maybe even into 2026 as well, right? So let's see when the bearish 1GT red signal actually appears. If it does, great, we might take some profit, get out at what we have done previously. If not, continue riding. All right, let's go on to the 5th Singapore stock I'd like to share with you guys today, and that will be China Sunsine. The code is QES. It's one of the leading rubber chemical producer in the world. All right, it supplies what we call accelerators and additives to tire manufacturers worldwide. Let's take a look at the chart right now. 80 cents. You can see that for China Sunsine, it has been a pretty decent longer term uptrend just by looking at the red and the blue, like red going up, blue going up, red above the blue. Since I would say beginning of the year, in fact, since last year, longer term uptrend was pretty much. In fact, of course, in the short term, we did see a couple of bearish signals came down, big bearish signal. That was in April, right? It sold off due to Trump tariffs, but we got bullish signals coming out, and there we go, all the way out. Now let's zoom into what has happened over the past 1 to 2 months. So you see, right, we actually got a 1GT bearish signal coming out right over here on the 13th of October after the rally from April. So April to October, how many percent would that be, right? From here to here, 58, right? 58% in about like 6 months, right? And they got a bearish signal. I think that's pretty cool to get out, take some profit. I wait for the entry, wait for the time to come back in again, all right? Has it come? Well, it seems like over the past 1-2 weeks, so we got finally we got a new 1GT bullish signal, all right? So the longer term trend has been up since last year, that's fine. The short term trend to get the green light, you can see that besides the bearish signal, the green light actually turned down. So we don't want to rush, right? When the short term trend is down, we won't wait for it to turn back up as another confirmation for that reversal. So you see right down, started to turn up. I would say maybe just a little bit, right? Starting to point out over the past 1-2 weeks with this new 1GT bullish signal. So that's why, I want to share with you guys this stock. This we have my watch list. It could be looking a little bit more bullish if we do get maybe another confirmation, like breaking the 84. So 84 cents would be a bit of a resistance. You can see right over here. In fact, just a few days back, we hit it there. Some selling came back. So 84, 85 cents could be what we call a resistance level. But if we do break those key resistance that have been below since September, right? 84, 85 cents. We break above it, we go to 86, 87, 88, 90 cents. Great. I think targets could then be revised for this stock, right? Maybe to 95 to $1. That is where this most recent 1GT bullish signal that got triggered last week could continue to play out. So this is China Sunsine. The code is QES. So there we have it, guys. These are the 5 Singapore stocks that you want to put in your watch list for potentially more upside as we head into the end of 2025 and maybe even into 2026 as well. Despite market weakness, they have been holding really well. In fact, even attempting to push even higher. So I hope you have taken note of these 5 stocks: Sheng Siong, SIA Engineering, Bumitama Agri, Singtel, and China Sunsine. So let's just recap, right? If you want to get some of those ideas, in fact, some of those ideas that we share, like Bumitama Agri, SIA Engineering, we actually shared with our clients in Philip Securities by WhatsApp daily for free over the past couple of months, right? So you're going to get them much faster by WhatsApp. Click on the link below the video, check it out. Find out how you come on board as a client of mine in Philip Securities for free. No additional cost whatsoever. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading anyway. So if you're not getting any service from your own broker, right? No ideas, no videos, nobody WhatsApp you, nobody call you, nobody email you, nothing. Check out link below the video. I look forward to work together with you together with my team as well. And make sure you hit the subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.